Yo, so what is up everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video, and for today's video, we're going to be doing another NBA draft career simulation here with the number 4 overall pick, Patrick Williams. The pick might have came as a surprise to some, but obviously the Bulls think he could be a potential superstar in the league one day, so we're going to see just how this goes with him actually being the youngest of all the lottery players selected in this year's draft. So let's hop into it and see how year 1 goes. So here we are at the end of year 1, and LaMelo Ball ends up being the rookie of the year in the draft class, and our Chicago Bulls did not make the playoffs with only 34 wins on this season. But of course, you can't turn a franchise around that fast. Let's be honest. So Zach LaVine put up 29.1 points per game and led the team in scoring. And Patrick Williams coming in, not doing all that crazy in all honesty, only putting off about 8 points per game. But, you know, it is what it is. He did get up to a 78 overall on the season, still only 19 years old. Celtics versus the Lakers in the finals here in the first round, in the first year of the sim, and it goes to 7, and the Celtics end up taking it with Jason Tatum getting Finals MVP. Moving us into year 2 of the sim here, and let's kind of see how this. Ooh, I had to stop everything. We apparently were able to get Anthony Davis in the offseason on a 4-year contract, so that's definitely huge for the potential winning of this Bulls team. Coby White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, who's now 79 overall, of course, Anthony Davis and Wendell Carter to round out that starting 5-man. That's going to be interesting. Giannis ends up getting MVP here in year 2, but we should have been able to make the playoffs, and we did with 50 wins on the season. Obviously, AD coming in and being a really big force right off the rip. Patrick Williams not progressing all that much this season, but it is okay as he is only 20 years old still. And as you can see in the first round, we had a kind of tough matchup up against the Knicks that added Cade Cunningham. And we went to a Game 7 with them, but ultimately, Anthony Davis dropped 47 points to get it done. Moving us into the second round matchup up against last year's NBA champions, the Boston Celtics, and we end up taking them out in 5 as well. Moving to the Eastern Conference Finals here already in only year 2 of the sim, where we're going to be up against KD, Kyrie, and the Brooklyn Nets. So let's see how this one goes, but it's not looking that hot for us as we find ourselves down 3-1, and we ultimately get bounced in 5 by this Nets team, despite Zach LaVine having a crazy game. And as you can see, Patrick Williams was definitely kind of a non-factor in that game in all honesty, only shooting the ball 4 times and having 2 points. And here you go. So we have the Nets and the Pelicans here in the finals in year 2, and let's see who actually comes out on top. It's looking like more than likely it's going to, actually it could be anybody, but the Pelicans do end up taking it. They were out to the early lead with Kawhi Leonard. Moving us into year 3 of the sim right here. And let's check out what's going on in year 3. So our core of this team is looking extremely promising at Patrick Williams, 21 years old now, already an 84 overall, and Coby White at 22 years old at 85 already. So I'm very interested to see what type of strides this team can make this season. So it ends up being Cade Cunningham actually getting MVP in, I believe, his 2nd year in the league already. And Emoni Bates gets Rookie of the Year coming in with the Bucks. We do, of course, make the playoffs with 50 wins on the season, which you'd love to see. Patrick Williams beginning to get that scoring up a little bit at around 11 points per game now, but we definitely want to see that increase maybe to like 15 by next season in all honesty. That's probably a good point to be at. First round matchup here up against this Milwaukee Bucks team with Emoni Bates and Kyrie Irving, so not an easy team to verse by any means. So we're hopping into Simcast, and we do end up taking this one, thankfully. Chris Middleton dropping 40 points on us there, but we do actually end up coming out on top. Coby White having a great game. Patrick Williams doing okay, I guess, 13-7. Can't really knock it. Moving us to the Eastern Conference Finals up against this very tough matchup that is this New York Knicks team. That's very interesting, actually. So they have Cade Cunningham, Bol, and Mitch Robinson. But they do end up taking it from us in 7. Huge game there from Cade Cunningham, and we just could not get enough done there. Patrick Williams actually shooting a perfect 4 for 4 there and 2 for 2 from 3. But it is what it is. Knicks versus the Suns here in the finals, and the Knicks do actually end up taking it all, with Cade Cunningham, of course, getting Finals MVP. Moving us into year 4 of the sim. Anthony Davis, 98 overall. Coby White, 88 overall. Patrick Williams, 87 overall. And, you know, Zach LaVine still at an 87 overall as well. Giannis gets MVP, and would you look at that? Bronny comes in and gets both Rookie of the Year and Sixth Man of the Year simultaneously. And we come in with 47 wins on the season. We have this matchup here up against the Detroit Pistons. Saddiq Bey, Killian Hayes, the #1 seed here in the second round. And they do end up bouncing us, unfortunately. Patrick Williams doing a little bit yet again. I really am looking for a little bit more of a step from him soon. The Pistons do end up taking it all with Killian Hayes getting Finals MVP, moving us into year 5 of this sim. And let's check out what's going on in year 5. You see Patrick Williams now up to an 88 overall at the age of 23, slowly but surely getting his scoring up, but I do want to hopefully see a bigger kind of leap in one of these years where it goes up like 4 or 5 points significantly, and you see what our starting 5 is looking like, so not too bad. Luka ends up getting MVP here. And let's check out if anything interesting is going on. We come in as the #3 seed, right around 50 wins. It's pretty much what we've been doing consistently. And we got this matchup here up against this tough Knicks team in the first round. But they're coming in as the 6th seed, so hopefully we can do something here. We find ourselves down 1-2 in the series, and it's not looking good. We would have to rally back pretty hard, and instead we get bounced in 6, with Cade Cunningham dropping 42. And in year 6, the Atlanta Hawks win an NBA championship, and Trae Young gets Finals MVP. Moving us into year 6 of the sim, you see what the squad's looking like, and now 89 overall. Patrick Williams running that small forward position for us. Luka Doncic gets MVP of the regular season, and let's check out just how we did, boys. And wow, what a disappointing first round. We get ourselves bounced 4-1 by the Indiana Pacers, man. This has just been a rough start to Patrick Williams' career, in all honesty, because this team has the ability to contend, but we're just not having any luck in the playoffs, moving us into year 7. So after some disappointing years there, we hop into year 7, and we notice Patrick Williams is no longer on this Bulls team. So let's see what's good with that. I guess he was kind of tired of the whole narrative that was going on here. And now at a 90 overall, he has decided to join the Indiana Pacers in free agency. So let's see what this is looking like. And it's honestly looking like he's going to be the best player on his team, which he probably hasn't been to this point. So let's see how it works out for him. So we're looking through the All-NBA team, and I guess it worked out pretty well as Patrick Williams elevated his game to the All-NBA second team from not scoring over 15 points per game in a season, now jumping it up to 28.1 points per game on the year, now a 2-time All-Star, with a first-round matchup up against a pretty tough Atlanta Hawks team that he 30 pieces and gets out of the series 4-1 in only 5 games, negating Trae Young. So this is where the sim's going to start to get really interesting. Is he just meant to kind of be the star on his team, and he ends up bouncing the Cavs here in 7 as well, putting up 14, 11, and 8 in that W. Moving us to the Eastern Conference Finals now, up against the Boston Celtics, the #2 seed. Is it time to show up or choke? Let's see what Patrick Williams is made of here, boys. So we simulate a game and we get up a game, but unfortunately it ends up going to a game 7 here, so we're going to hop into Simcast and see if we could take it and potentially go to the NBA championship here, or if we're going to kind of choke yet again. So as you can see, this is a very back and forth one here, and we're going kind of slow, but it looks like we honestly are going to take it. 115-109 after a very back and forth game. Patrick Williams dropping 38 points there, man. Going crazy, 38-7. To get us to the NBA championship here, up against the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray at the point, of course. And we are up 3-1 with a pretty comfortable lead. So let's use Simcast, of course, to see if we need to hop into the game or any of that. And it's looking like they're probably going to take this and make the series a little bit closer, 3-2, but that's okay. We could potentially just take it here as well. Patrick Williams dropping 30 in that L, by the way. So here we go. We hop into this one, and it's a very close game. 114-111, Denver's ball. Pull up 3, and they drain it, tying it up with only 34 seconds left on the clock, man. This is going to come down to being a nail biter. Our point guard up top with the ball, just trying to find something that he could do here. A little pick and roll action, and not really successful. Top of the key. Bounce pass to the paint. It gets blocked, but he puts it back up, and an and one, man. And he hits his free throw, putting the Pacers back up by 3 points here, boys. Patrick Williams, New Balance player of the game, with 37 points in this crucial game. Nuggets ball here, down 3, 15.6 on the clock. Elijah Fisher down low. It does not go. We get fouled, and as you can imagine, that's pretty much the end of it with all the fouling. 119 to 114. Patrick Williams, being the highest overall player on his team, elevates his game to being one of the top players in the league. Going crazy, boys. Looking at this, 37, 7, and 3. You love to see it. Doing his thing for the Pacers, and he actually does not get Finals MVP, which is crazy to me, but it is what it is. Moving us into year 8 of the sim, and you see what our squad is looking like. Patrick Williams still the highest overall on the team at a 91 at 27 years old. And here in year 8, Luka's still getting MVPs like it's no other, so no real surprise there, I guess. All-NBA third team for Patrick Williams yet again, still keeping his game super elevated, but unfortunately it was not enough to let us make the playoffs this year with only 37 wins on the season. Looking at the player stats to kind of see just how he did, just about 30 points per game, man. But apparently his play itself was not enough to get them into the playoffs, which definitely sucks. Hornets versus the Mavs here in the finals, going to Game 7, and Luka ends up getting another championship and a Finals MVP. 91 overall, Patrick Williams still leading this Pacers team overall-wise, being their top player. So let's see if we can get any better luck this year. Luka gets another regular season MVP, and Patrick Williams comes in at the All-NBA third team yet again. We do actually end up making the playoffs this year and making it back to the Eastern Conference Finals, where we're going to match up against the Charlotte Hornets here. And let's see how this one ends up going. We find ourselves up 3-1, but they battle back. We do end up taking it ultimately. Patrick Williams dropping 38 points in that W, moving us to the finals here up against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. A very tough team here, boys. So we're going to see what we can do. They did just win an NBA championship last year. We do get a game, but unfortunately that's all we get as we get bounced in 5. With Luka getting an MVP here, Patrick Williams not doing his normal Patrick Williams stuff in that game, but it is what it is. You can't expect 30 points a game out of him every game. Moving us into year 10 of the sim. Hopefully they can get us a little bit of help, because I feel like Patrick Williams has been on this very, very lackluster team. So we're going to see what happens. We do end up making the playoffs with 45 wins on the season. Patrick Williams putting up 25.6 points per game. Obviously very respectable. And we find ourselves in the Eastern Conference Finals here, up against the Boston Celtics, the number 1 seed. So can we get an upset here? 7th seed on the 1 seed. And we found ourselves up 3-1, and we ultimately end up taking it in 6, which you love to see. Putting us back to the NBA championship here, up against a Blazers squad of Anthony Edwards and Cole Anthony. So hopefully Patrick Williams can get his 2nd NBA championship of this sim. And it's looking good as we find ourselves up 3-0 in this series. But it looks like the Trailblazers might actually get a game, and they do, making the series 3-1. So let's not underestimate them too much, because you never know. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves too much. But we end up hopping into this 137-115, and that's going to seal the deal. The Pacers are going to get themselves their 2nd NBA championship of this sim. And better yet, Patrick Williams gets his 2nd NBA championship of this sim, and hopefully he actually does get the Finals MVP this time, because I think last time personally he was a little bit cheated out of it. Elijah Fisher dropping 34, but 27 in that game from Patrick Williams as well, and Patrick Williams does end up securing the Finals MVP. You love to see it, getting our guy his first Finals MVP and 2nd NBA championship of this sim. Moving us into year 11 here, and in year 11 he got his championship and dipped. Patrick Williams no longer with the team, and he is signed with the Utah Jazz. So another team he's going to that he's pretty much the number 1 player on the team. So let's see if he has as much success here as he just had in Indiana. Let's check it out. Luka Doncic gets yet another MVP, man. He is still kicking, going crazy. And our Jazz team does make the playoffs with only 43 wins, but playoffs are playoffs, and Patrick Williams still putting up over 20 points per game. Still at a 91 overall, 30 years old at this point. Our first round matchup is going to be up against the San Antonio Spurs that are actually very interesting with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at their starting point guard position. So let's see what we can do here, and it's not looking great as we find ourselves down 2-1 in the series and now 3-1, and we get bounced in 5. Man, not what you want with your first year with a new team, but it is what it is. Caleb Love dropping 29, 33-point performance there from Patrick Williams in the L. Clippers versus the Bucks here in the finals. See who ends up taking this. Two definitely interesting teams. And this Bucks team, Emoni Bates is kind of their lead piece, and Mo Bamba actually their starting center. Happy to see Mo Bamba's career kind of finally took a little bit of a resurgence, been having a little bit of a tough time in the NBA up to this point, and it is looking like the Clippers might take this, and the Bucks just came back from a 3-1 deficit, moving us into year 12 of the sim. Patrick Williams still at 91 overall, getting a little bit of help at with that other small forward there. That's a 90 overall as well. So we will take it. DJ Stewart getting a MVP here with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we missed the playoffs apparently. Mavericks versus the Bucks in the finals, and Luka gets himself another finals and another finals MVP to go on top of that. Moving us into year 13 of the sim here, boys. Looking at this Jazz squad, we do end up getting Cade Cunningham in free agency, so that's kind of a big deal. See how that kind of tandem works out of Cade and Patrick Williams. Let's check it out, boys. I'm pretty excited for this one, in all honesty. 87 overall Cade. So in year 13, Jalen Lewis ends up getting MVP with the Detroit Pistons, and our Utah Jazz team that added Cade Cunningham failed to make the playoffs somehow, which is crazy to me. 24.1 points per game on the season for Patrick Williams, 32 years old. Hey man, that's just a disappointing season. That's when you put together some talent and it just does not work out. Pistons in the finals here up against the Trailblazers. Pistons end up taking it with Jalen Lewis getting finals MVP here, moving us into year 14. And in year 14, we're going to check if Patrick Williams is still hanging around with the squad here in 2034. So let's see what it is looking like. And he is, for the first time in a long time, not the highest overall on his team, now at an 88 overall. And he is starting at the 3 still. System proficiency, working with a 4-star, so let's see how it goes. After a disappointing year last year, another disappointing year this year with only 37 wins, going 37-45 with this Utah Jazz team. Patrick Williams putting up 20 points per game on the season, which is still very good for sure. An 8-time All-Star now, so you gotta like that. And it's unfortunate that we cannot have any playoff games this year, so we will be watching from the sidelines. Sixers versus the Mavericks here, and that boy Luka and the Mavs are still doing their thing. Luka getting another Finals MVP now at an 88 overall, moving us into year 15 of his career, and no longer any Patrick Williams here. So let's see where he maybe ended up and where he decided to go to. So Patrick Williams headed back to his former team, the Pacers, now at an 86 overall. Let's see if he can bring them home a championship. DJ Stewart getting another MVP, this time with the Pelicans instead of the Cavs like earlier in his career. And our guy Patrick Williams leading the team with 17.3 points per game at an 85 overall, which is not bad by any means, but was not enough to give us playoffs, man. I feel like we've been a 37-win team every season for the last like 3 or 4. Moving us into year 16. Year 16, Patrick Williams, 83 overall. Still somehow the second highest overall player on his team at 35 years old now. And still starting at that 3, getting 30 minutes a game. So looking at the season stats and kind of where we fall, about 15 points per game. So not bad by any means, but not enough to get us into the playoffs, as we now have 36 wins, so we're hanging around that place that you don't really want to be as an NBA team. Thunder end up taking it here, moving us into year 17, which is probably going to be one of the last couple years of our boys' career, in all honesty. Now 81 overall Patrick Williams here. Do we end up making playoffs? We do not. Going 32-50. Patrick Williams putting up 11.5 points per game. Not too bad, but still 79 overall. Mavericks versus the Celtics here in the finals. And it's looking like the Mavs are probably going to take this, and they do in 7, getting Luka yet another NBA championship before he retires. As you saw, he did retire there with Trey and Zion. Moving us into year 18 of the sim, Patrick Williams no longer with the Pacers. He has went to the Boston Celtics, where he's far from the best player on the team and actually meeting up with another former person in his draft class, LaMelo Ball. Obviously, they're both pretty old at this point, and LaMelo is getting 13 points off the bench, and Patrick Williams getting no tick at all. So let's see if they can carry us to another chip here. Working with a 4-star system proficiency, but they cannot. Patrick Williams averaging 0 points on the season, and our Celtics team only putting up 34 wins on the season. A great career here from Patrick Williams, to say the very least, especially with his years in Utah and the Pacers early on. Bulls end up taking it, and I'm assuming this is probably our last year with Patrick Williams, so let's check out the player retirements and see if that is so, if Patrick Williams is finally up and out of the NBA. Looking at the Hall of Fame retirees, and yes sir, alongside James Wiseman, SGA, Trae Young, and Terrence Clark, Patrick Williams does make the NBA Hall of Fame, and he does get his jersey retired by the Indiana Pacers for his 2 stints there. And a fantastic career, in all honesty. A 2-time NBA champion, many-time All-Star, several-time NBA All second and third team member, and the only place he's probably going to rank is points, in all honesty. So I'll show you guys this, and then if you guys made it this far, as always, comment GOAT down below so I know you are a true Bean Squad supporter. You see it comes in at number 43, so I can show you some love down in the comment section below. If you guys made it this far throughout the video, as always, I appreciate you guys. Bean out.